Is my LLC structure too complicated? What's happening, YouTube? It's Matt Faircloth. Thank you for watching the Mentorship Monday program. My name is Matt. My company is the DeRosa Group, and we are a real estate investment firm, and we have a cool thing called the Mentorship Monday series where people email in their questions to helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. That is helpme@DeRosaGroup.com, and I'll answer your questions right here on the YouTube channel for you and everyone else to learn from. If you guys like what we do at DeRosa Group, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel, because that will let you know of other things that we've got going on, and it will let you know of community feeds that we have, and we put out all kinds. Sometimes we put out some cool stuff on that community feed, so make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're the first time watching here. So today's question from Mentorship Monday that was submitted by Paul, thank you Paul, has to do, I get a lot of questions about LLCs. And I'm hoping that this Mentorship Monday, this series for Mentorship Monday has addressed a lot of your LLC questions. But a lot of them are recurring questions, and a lot of them have to do with setting LLCs up, and it starts to get complicated. So I want to address this. And I also want to point out right now that I'm not an attorney. And so I'm not offering you legal advice. I'm just offering you my business experience around LLCs and stuff like that. So you need to have an attorney to do these kinds of things for you, and to set up these companies. And the mistakes that I've made in setting up companies in the past were not using an attorney to do it. So you need an attorney to do your operating agreement. That's what you need them to do. You can typically set up an LLC on your own with the state, and that's okay to do. You can set it up with the state, register it with the state on your own, and then register it with the IRS on your own as well. Those are two very easy things to do. You just got to find the state registrar page. It's typically with the Department of State for the state you want to set it up in, or the state treasury. Each state's different, right? But setting the LLC up with the state's not the issue, and with the IRS, it's typically an online form just to get your EIN number. Those are easy. The attorney is going to write up your operating agreement. It's very important to have a good operating agreement, especially if you have partners or even if you don't. That's really where the good stuff, the juice of the LLC is in that operating agreement. So that's what you need an attorney for. Now, Paul's question is, hi Matt, I watch your YouTube videos and encourage newbies for asset protection. Great. Paul's looking to do advisable to spending money to create a holding company, and then he wants to set up a parent company for each LLC underneath it, and looking at doing stuff in Wyoming and everything like that. Listen, this is very complicated for a new investor to do, and I know people that own like thousands of units of real estate, and they're not this complicated with trusts and setting up LLCs in different states and everything like that. Again, I'm not an attorney, but this is how I do it. I set up the LLC in the state that the property exists. So if you live in California and you're going to be buying property in Wyoming or in Utah or in North Carolina, whatever, you're going to set up the LLC in the state that the property exists. I do it that way simply because you're doing business in that state. That state is going to find out you're doing business there, and they're going to want their pound of flesh. They're going to want to tax your revenue that you have coming out of that state, right? So right there, that's why I set it up. Now, the profits you make in the LLC get passed through to you and to your partners, and you're liable for income tax through a pass-through perspective in the state that you reside in, but you were going to pay that anyway because that's where you live. You were going to be paying an income tax on your personal tax return because the LLC makes money, and then it passes that money it makes directly through to you, and if it loses money through depreciation and whatever, then that's all the better. But I keep it simple, and that's just me, but I set up the LLC in the state the property exists there because you're going to pay taxes there because that's where you earned it, and then let that flow through to me. I don't do Nevada-based LLCs and Wyoming LLCs and Delaware LLCs and stuff like that to shelter. And that's okay that I don't do that. I know there's reasons why you should, but again, that makes things more complicated, especially to Paul's question, which is about getting complicated setups in the very beginning when you're first setting up your company. And you haven't bought any property yet. I would never wish upon a brand new investor to go pay $5,000 to $10,000 in legal to get themselves set up. Just go out and do a deal. You know, go out and set up an LLC, super simple, a couple $100 on the state's website, and maybe $500 to $1,000 to an attorney to write the LLC agreement for you, and you're off and running from there. As you grow, you can start to make your business structure more and more complex, but there's no reason why you need to have something that's this complex as you're just getting started. You can grow into complexity as you pick up a few more units, and so maybe you turn a profit on a few properties and you set that aside for asset protection in year 2 or year 3 for yourself. Yeah, I don't see the benefit of, again, what are LLCs for? LLCs are really there to protect you from a liability claim. First of all, have really good insurance, because the insurance is going to step in and cover you in a liability claim. And number 2, even if you're in Wyoming or Nevada and you're hiding behind a couple of different entity structures and you're behind several layers of LLCs, if it's a good lawyer and they want to get a hold of you and they want to come after you personally, they will. They'll find you. It doesn't matter what state that you're in. They will find a way to get through to you, even with this entity structure you have going on and everything like that. So I don't even play that game. I just run a solid business that has very little liability issues, and then I also have really good liability insurance. And you know, we've gotten sued a bunch of times in our years of business for all kinds of stuff. And the liability insurance has always been a big factor that's got that taken care of. And it would take a lot longer to pierce the corporate veil and to get through the LLC and then leverage your assets and get a hold of you. Not that that can't happen, but it's much easier for the attorney that's suing you to just take a settlement from your insurance company. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but that's 99% the more likely what's going to happen is your insurance company is going to offer up a settlement. Okay, so that's how we're set up, and I recommend simplicity over complexity to you guys. My hope is that this addresses a lot of LLC stuff, because LLCs can be scary. They're big and they're weird. It's a weird name. Nobody taught us about this in school or anything like that. So I get it, and there are gurus out there that are making the LLC thing more complicated than it should be, and shame on them, but because it's really not that complicated. And so I hope that this squashes a lot of the LLC conversations that you guys have, and my hope is this video can become a basis for LLC structure for you guys. And there's also some other videos on our YouTube page that you guys should check out about LLCs, because I know it's a common question for new investors. So I really want to help you guys with this, but don't get too complicated. Paul, thank you for your question. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe to this video. Do it right now while I'm talking. Subscribe to this video, or subscribe to this channel, and we'd love to have you guys on board. So thanks for watching. Have a great and profitable week.